Former President Donald Trump spent the day on Capitol Hill for the first time since the January 6 riots back in 2021. The presumptive Republican presidential candidate met with House and Senate Republicans and stressed GOP unity and more. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales joins us now with the latest. Erik.
Well, good evening, Tracy. Yes, Republicans gave the former president a hero's welcome. He met behind closed doors, as you mentioned, first with House Republicans in the morning and then GOP senators later in the day. The former president then said a few words to the media surrounded by a group of GOP senators and spoke about bringing change to America come this November.
One thing in common, we want to make America great again. We want to make our country great again. We're a nation that's in decline. We're a declining nation. We're a nation that is being laughed at all over the world. We have a leader that's being laughed at all over the world. And we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast.
Earlier, a crush of media, protesters and supporters anxiously waited for a glimpse of the former president's arrival. Afterwards, I caught up with lawmakers.
I think the real message he's saying is that I had the right policies before on border and energy and the economy and foreign policy, and I'm going to re-implement those when we get back in office.
He talked a lot about national security, and I kind of believe what he had to say, that a lot of these things that are happening around the world today would not have happened if he was in office.
They say the Catholic Church and the abortion issue was also discussed.
You should know that the president stands behind the Catholic Church. He specifically mentioned the persecution of Catholics by the Biden administration and how wrong it was.
He said, make sure that you exercise your own conscience, talk about it, share your conviction, and do that in a way that makes sense to people. And I think he had made a good point. He has said that after the Dobbs decision that the states are handling the issue right now.
As for the meeting with senators,
he brought in such a tone that set the room and said right off the bat, man, listen, 90% of the stuff we all agree on, there's 10% that we may not, but let's set it aside. We got a game to win in November.
Senators say the former president spoke about places that generally have been unfriendly to his message, like the Bronx and San Francisco, are now welcoming him.
There is an engagement by Americans, a yearning for a better America. And he says you can feel it in places where you couldn't feel it in the past.
But Democrats claim adopting a Trump agenda would be disastrous for America.
If America followed this Republican agenda, the middle class's incomes would go way down, inflation would go up, income redistribution would be very, very bad. Climate, they want to get rid of all the great climate work we did last time, would be out the window.
During the meeting, the former president did not talk about a possible vice presidential pick. But the first thing that he did do was when he met with senators, he walked over and shook the hands of Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, who he had a strained relationship with. Now, both men had nothing but praise to say about each other after that meeting.